So, continuing the tour of Fogg, let's have a quick look below decks. Bird's eye view from here before I go down. It's a bit noisy. Fairly standard saloon setup, so seating forward, chart table and other workspace off to the left, and an L-shaped galley down here to the right, and right under me the engine, which is a Jeanneau 75 horsepower turbo, which is running, as you can see. Got about 800 hours on it, and as you can hear, I'm putting quite a few hours on that rapidly. So saloon table opens up, got a folding leaf arrangement, so we can happily sit, you know, half a dozen people around here. Popping into the cabins. The first cabin, as you can see, is full of a bit of stowage. There's the battery for the outboard there. Also the tent for our youngest son. He sleeps in there at night for safety. And this is where we've got guests as well, because they have an ensuite attached to that cabin. So if we have guests on board, then that's where they go. Over this other side, another same size double bed cabin. This is our oldest son. A few toys spread around, as you can see. I'll get away from the engine again. Moving forward, here's the master in the bow with a ton of storage, lockers all the way around. There's storage wherever you look, and of course the ensuite with a showery bit. So yeah, a ton of space. One thing is that when we ordered Fogg, we were very attracted to the fact that it was the highly spec version. So I think it's the black label version, and what that means is it basically they ticked all the options. So it came fully loaded, as the Americans would say, I guess. So there's a gen set, which obviously gives us a lot of power for not just charging, but a bunch of other things. So we got, you know, microwaves, electric kettles. We can, you know, recharge everything very easily. We have a water maker. That is a game changer. So 100 litres an hour water maker that runs off either 220 or 12 volt. I always run it when I've got the gen set going. And a host of other bits and pieces, extras that I forget the whole list, but you know, there's the bow thruster, air conditioning and heating, that's useful in the summer as well. Things like, I think, the cockpit cushions and a Bose stereo, that sounds pretty cool. So there's a bunch of things. But overall, again, the thing that we love the most is the sheer amount of storage down here, massive volume. Under the floor in the saloon, for example, I'll just lift up one of the floorboards. You get an idea. Apologies for the noise again, but if I lift up this one floorboard, you can see, you know, there's a ton of space. It goes all the way across the boat. It's deep, and we have that across the whole cockpit, the whole saloon floor, I should say. Everywhere you look, those floorboards will lift up and stow stuff. So I've told you what we love about downstairs, which is, you know, again, a bit like upstairs, sheer storage and amenity. What is the one thing I would change? Two things I'd change down here. First of all, little thing, these annoying little catches that are an annoyance to all Jeanneau owners. They just won't work properly. Half of them lock, and then half of them don't, and they do that, and then you give it a nudge, and you never know if it's going to be secure or fly open. So it's on the list to change all of those, but there's quite a few around the boat, so they're everywhere. I need to spend half a winter changing those sometime. The other thing, a bit more serious than that, a bit annoying to be honest, that I don't like, is that under the bed, under there, underneath our master bed, is the one and only water tank for the boat. So we've got two fuel tanks of about 200 litres each, I think it is. The argument being it's better to have more fuel and only one water tank because we have the water maker, which is fine when it all works. The one water tank, it's under our bed, it's about 250 litres, and it doesn't seem to be baffled. So what I mean by that is if we're at anchor and there's any kind of roll, the water can slosh around quite easily. The only way to cure that is to make sure it is brim full. So it's just become part of my daily routine. Last thing in the evening, when we've kind of finished all washing and showering for the day and washing up and all the rest of it, I'm running the water maker. I need to run it once a day anyway, for the family particularly, but I run it as I'm running the gen set to do an evening battery charge, and I have to fill up the water tank. So when we go to sleep at night, the tank is brim full. It means that we start the morning with a full tank, that's good. But if I don't do that and we got some rocking, we can get slop. I started to look into the option of putting baffles in the tank, but I haven't got past the point of early research. So if anyone has ever put baffles, retrofitted baffles into a water tank on a boat successfully, I'd be very interested to hear about it. Anyway, there you have it. That's the downstairs, and I hope you got a slightly better sense of sailing vessel Fogg.